going on?
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. The Miami Dolphins got their first win of the season, Monday Night Football, against the winless New York Jets. But what everyone's talking about is this absolutely horrible, just gruesome injury to the Miami Dolphins' best player, Tyreek Hill, last night. We're not going to show you the whole thing here. If you want to see it, you can go online. You can find the injury. But it was that bad. Well, never mind about not showing it there. There you go. The knee is not supposed to bend like that. It was, again, just an absolutely horrific injury. And now you had a guy who everyone was talking about, okay, the Dolphins aren't going anywhere, clearly. Could Tyreek Hill be traded somewhere else? That's all now out the window. I think obviously he's out for the season. He's not playing this year. And I think you've got to question what he looks like going forward as well.
Yeah, Coach Mike McDaniel just announced a few minutes ago that he tore essentially every ligament in his knee, including the ACL, which is the most important one. It seemed for now the nerve damage is not in the equation, according to Mike McDaniel. So that's the one that obviously everybody worries about, that it could extend farther than 12, 13, 14 months as the usual blown out knee would require. But nonetheless, it's serious, super serious injury. But one of the things I think a lot of people had the question about was, why was he smiling afterwards? If you saw him on the card,
you would think you'd be in agony.
He's clapping, he's cheering. At one point, he points his fingers and all that stuff. And we actually spoke to one of his former teammates, Terron Armstead, who played with him for 3 years with the Dolphins. Yeah. And he shared with us why Tyreek was laughing, and I think you'll have a little bit of empathy for Tyreek here.
Man, I was sitting playing 2K an hour after the game, playing 2K with my friends, and he called me, FaceTime me, just was in the hospital bed on his way to get images, to get more MRIs and things. And, man, he just talked through the whole situation, but he was in good spirits. I was like, bro, why were you laughing? Like, what was that reaction? You know what I mean? He was like, just wanted to give the fans, like, some energy. The game was still going, you know what I mean? He really wanted the team to pull out the win. And he was laughing through the pain because it was either that or pass out. So he's crazy. He's crazy. With him, he will definitely be motivated to get back. He's a guy that he's faced narratives throughout his life, being a smaller guy, being small school and all those things. So he's faced those challenges, and he's a guy that responds to adversity like none other. His competitiveness is unreal. Man, you see the way that he was playing last night. He was trying to will the team to a victory and just rolling. So he's someone that will attack this rehab full throttle and do his best to be back to the Tyreek Hill that we know.
So there it is. I mean, you hear it from a guy who was his, a Pro Bowl left tackle. He talked to Tyreek last night from his hospital bed. And Tyreek, you hear Terron there say that Tyreek Hill, who is 31 years old, that he is intent on coming back at. And I don't know. I don't know. Does he lose 1%, 5%, 10%? Does he come back 100% of what he was now? I don't think we know the answer to that question until he gets back on the field.
Yeah, you have a guy that relies almost solely on speed, and now he loses 50% of the things that require you to make speed, So we were talking a little bit off camera about it, but yeah, you come back 10, 20% less than what you were. How does that impact him? And he's not a young guy anymore, 31, 32 years old.
In your 30s, a guy who's been playing for a long time. By the way, played a lot of football. They're in the play. I mean, obviously, with the Dolphins, not so much. But with the Chiefs, he obviously played in a lot of playoff games, a lot of extra games. You probably tack on a full season, honestly, with the playoff games he's played. What do you think, Moj? Obviously, you played football. You've dealt with injuries, and this is just a reality of the game. But I do think it's fair also to question what this guy looks like going forward.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? An injury that big this late into your career, you're never going to be the same afterwards. I'm not saying he's done. I'm not saying he can't come back and make a Pro Bowl. I'm just saying there will be a permanent deficit forever after an injury that bad. I had my share. I've had 5 shoulder surgeries. I had a calf injury that took me out when I was playing with the Arizona Cardinals. I had to stop playing football after that, and even then, 10 years in WWE after that, that calf never got back to the shape it was in prior to that injury.
Wow.
Didn't mean I couldn't compete at a very high level, but I could always still feel a deficit and still do to this day. So I think Tyreek's going to be back. It's just going to be something that he's going to have to train extra hard at and get used to. But I do want to talk about that smile on the field, man. I mean, Tyreek doing his best Heath Ledger Joker Batman impersonation out there, but that just takes an unbelievable amount of mental toughness to compartmentalize the pain. I mean, obviously he wasn't happy. He didn't think it was funny. Maybe he was trying to showcase his toughness out there. But in order to just push aside that much pain to force a smile, I mean, that's next level badass right there. I've seen some nasty injuries in my day, football and wrestling. That is one of the worst ones that I've ever seen. A leg dislocating like that with everything torn. That's awful, but man, hats off to him for being so freaking tough, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree, Moj. And I will say this, too, and anyone who knows Tyreek, follows him on YouTube and all the things that he does and the content he makes. I've seen this guy play in football games, and then the next morning he's playing, basketball or working out or lifting heavy. So this guy is a maniac when it comes to working out and to doing all of those things. So I really do think if there's anybody out there that can potentially come back, I think it's probably Tyreek Hill. Bottom line is, he's had the surgery now. The recovery starts today, and it's going to be a long and a grueling process. We're not going to see Tyreek Hill on the field, unfortunately, anymore this season. Next year to be determined. Now, Ed mentioned an ACL there. Another guy who over the weekend, it was Sunday, hurt his ACL was the second-year star for the New York Giants, Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers, who tore his ACL on that terrible MetLife Stadium field. He has not yet gotten this surgery done. Despite the injury, Lucas, he was not going to let a little thing like a torn ACL stop him from going out and seeing one of his favorite rappers.
NBA YoungBoy, who was in Jersey for his Make America Slime Again tour, and a lot of comments underneath the picture of Malik Nabers.
What are the
smiling
comments
from
saying?
ear to ear alongside
What are they
the
saying?
rap star.
Thank
They're
you.
just like, it just goes to show there's no way Malik was going to miss this show, no matter what, and that was absolute proof. But he came bearing gifts as well, because he had a signed jersey for NBA YoungBoy, and he left a message for him on it and everything, autographed it. So it's really cool that, and I actually personally love to see something like this, to see your star wideout, in good spirits, still going on about life. What else is he going to do? Just mope around the house? And just sit there and just kind of sulk?
I think the fear, and Shannon, tell me if I'm wrong. Shannon, it's a Giants fan, if you can tell. I think the fear would be maybe something happens to the knee. You don't want anything to get damaged any further. He has not even had the surgery yet.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead, yes.
Remember when I screwed up my back a few weeks ago? I did a 300-pound squat.
Yes.
It was messed up.
Yeah.
But I
Stop making me feel bad about myself, but go on.
But I still went to the Chris Brown concert.
Right.
Like, I was not going to miss it. I walked in there in pain. Granted, I'm not Malik Nabers or anything, but
that is true.
I get where he's coming from.
Right. I get the feeling that that Malik Nabers and NBA YoungBoy probably talked about the fact they were going to go to the show, right, and they'd meet up and all that. And Malik said, I'm going to my concert. I'm not missing it, injury or not. So I agree. It was really nice to see a smile on his face. It's a horrible injury for a young, incredibly talented football player. And I think, whether you like the Giants, don't like the Giants, you obviously hope the guy gets healthy, gets back on the field. And, hope you had fun at the concert. Up next, we now know why Terrence Crawford was pulled over in that traffic stop where he was ordered out of his car by a cop holding a gun. The details coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Boxing superstar Terrence Crawford. We talked about it on yesterday's show. We had that really tense, scary situation, a standoff with police Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. Remember, he was celebrating his birthday. They actually had a parade a little bit earlier in the day in Omaha to honor the boxing star. And then he got pulled over by the police, and it ultimately wound up with Terrence and his friends being taken out of the vehicle at gunpoint. We now have a reason why. We know what happened, allegedly, that led up to them being taken out at gunpoint. First, if you haven't seen the incident, here it was again Sunday morning. Take a look.
Stepping out, seatbelt.
Step out.
I'm opening the door. I'm opening the door.
Right here on my right. I'm keeping hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So there it was. The stop was initiated at 1:27 a.m. to be exact, and we knew, Ed, that it was a traffic stop. And we obviously hear in the video, you hear somebody say, "I'm not reaching for a gun." So we know they were talking about a weapon that was in the car, allegedly. But we did not know until now why this stop ever even happened, and you've got the answer to that.
Yeah, so we obtained a copy of the citation that Bud was actually given. And in it doesn't explain a whole lot, but it does say that he was driving a blue sedan past a cop at, quote, a high rate of speed.
Okay,
so
he was speeding.
That he was speeding. Now, as far as what the miles per hours were, we don't know. The space where that's supposed to be filled out is left blank. I will also note that in the citation, they make no reference of a gun or pulling out anybody by a gunpoint. It just simply says that they made contact with Terrence Crawford, and Crawford was cited and released for reckless driving. So I requested the body cam and the dash cam footage as well to try to see. They've denied that. They're saying that that's not necessarily something they have to give away, which I found interesting because the mayor said they promised transparency in this internal investigation.
Doesn't sound very transparent, by the way, Mayor.
That's kind of all we have at this point. I will say there's one other note. He is due in court on December 2nd to address the charge. I don't know if that's going to be he can get rid of that by paying off the citation, or if he actually has to go back to Omaha, Nebraska to figure this all out. But there's still a lot of questions here, I think.
There
this
is.
Might have invited more questions than
because that doesn't seem very transparent. Release all the video and say, hey, this is what happened. We're laying it all out on the table. I think he was not cited for speeding, like Ed just said. He said it was reckless driving. Maybe that could potentially be why they don't list a speed, because they're not saying, hey, you were going 17 miles over the speed limit. I just randomly picked that number. But it's a reckless driving ticket. Also, because I can hear people saying, why do you take somebody out of a car at gunpoint for speeding? Remember, the cops say they pulled him over for speeding, but once they got to the vehicle and they were talking with Terrence, they then saw a firearm inside the car, and they weren't sure, hey, is that a legal gun? Is it not? Are you allowed to have it? Are you not allowed? And that's then why they took everybody out at gunpoint. So I think that all makes sense. It checks out. If that's not the way it ultimately went, then the cops have got some explaining to do here. But that is the police side of the story. Let's hope that they give us these body camera and the dash cam videos here, too, because I think it would go a long way to clearing up a lot here. You potentially see Terrence Crawford driving by. You can tell if he's speeding. You can see the interaction. I think it would be very wise for the police here to say, hey, here's the video. Don't hide anything. When we come back, AEW superstar Orange Cassidy joins the show. The two-time AEW International Champion reflects on 6 years of AEW Dynamite when TMZ Sports returns right after this.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I'm your host, Mojo Muhtadi. Today, joined by the returning Orange Cassidy, AEW superstar, on a very big week. Orange, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing how I normally am. It's always crazy, the energy that you bring. I need you around me more often to kind of rub off on my life so I have a little more energy.
Dude, I don't know about that, because you've been back from this pec injury for a week, right into the 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite, which is this Wednesday, and you got a title match already. So if you're asking me, I think you stay hyped quite well.
Yeah. Did I expect this? Most things in my life, the same way most things in my life happen. No, I did not. I just showed up and they told me. Hologram got hurt. He was supposed to wrestle Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. And there's supposed to be like a streak versus championship thing, which was, because Kyle Fletcher, after that loss to Hangman, is really trying to prove, which I understand. But I mean, if you see the kid, he's a horse. He looks great. He's awesome. And Hologram was like, hey, can you fill in for me? And I said, sure thing, buddy. So now 6 years of Dynamite, I'm going to have to wrestle for a championship. Feels like old times.
Let's talk about AEW for a second. You've been there from the jump, brother. This is 6 years in. Just talk about what's gone into this amazing accomplishment. You know how hard it is to survive in pro wrestling, in any promotion. But here AEW is 6 years going strong, better than ever.
Yeah, I think I think we're just all very, very lucky that first for the Young Bucks, because without them, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. And then also for Tony Khan, because without him, I wouldn't still be sitting here talking to you. It's incredible to have a person like Tony who respects and loves professional wrestling. He's not just in it for it's like business. Like, yeah, the business is what he needs to do, but he loves professional wrestling. And for him to put faith in people like me and other wrestlers that are completely different, that are something that's brand new, that frankly anywhere else wouldn't be able to thrive, because we wouldn't be given the creative freedom or the opportunities to do unique things. For him to put the faith in us and work with us to fine tune it and stuff, I'm forever grateful. And I hope there's 16 more years of all this. So I'm going to do whatever I can to keep that going.
Well, brother, I know you got a busy week ahead. Again, just coming off of that pec injury, right back in to a championship match on the 6-year anniversary show. Orange Cassidy, thank you so much for joining us here on TMZ Sports. Best of luck this coming week, and we'll chat again with some gold around that shoulder.
Yes, great. Thank you very much.
Before we head to break, we want to remind you that the TMZ Sports Show is now streaming live. Tune in weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on the TMZ and TMZ Sports YouTube channels and X accounts, where you can join the conversation. But first, Shaq goes one-on-one with a street baller in New York City. The amazing footage when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. NBA season just a couple of weeks away. Team out there needs a big man. Shaquille O'Neal, he may be your guy, because the 53-year-old big fella, the NBA Hall of Famer, he temporarily came out of retirement yesterday in New York City. So Shaq was at an event for his Hershey's Candy. Super successful. Shaq-alicious XL gummies. He's got a new variety. They're in the form of a sneaker. Of course, Shaq famously wore those size 22 kicks. So they got the new candy out there. They had a bunch of kids out there in a gym in the South Street Seaport in Manhattan. There is a famous street ball player called George the Messiah. George has played a bunch of guys at these famous street ball courts across New York City. He challenged Shaquille O'Neal. George got one possession. Shaq got one possession. Here's what happened. I thought that was cool. All the kids were super excited. That Shaquille O'Neal, George stood no chance.
And based on when Shaq came into the office not too long ago for our holiday special.
Merry Elfin Christmas.
I can't get over the fact that Shaq is one of the nicest guys despite being one of the biggest names and biggest people on the planet.
He's the most dominant player I've ever seen, and he's just an awesome guy.
The person that you see on the court, he's like so aggressive and ferocious and dominant, and then like a big teddy bear when he walked into the TMZ office. I mean,
like spending time with everybody. He didn't have to do that. It's not when the cameras were rolling or anything. Just a genuine guy. I mean, if you look at, and we talk to him every year around this time, but like the Shaq Claus stuff and all the things that he does for kids, like Shaquille O'Neal is a genuine. Everything that I know about him, just a genuinely good dude, and I thought it was really cool to see all the kids out there with him, Mojo, and as excited as they were to kind of be there with the big fella.
I like partying with Shaq. Everybody likes Shaq. He's a ton of fun. He DJs now. He does all of the things, man. So obviously all the great things in the world to say about Shaq. But I'm wondering, guys, this clip, I mean, was anyone on earth surprised by the fact that he scored on a street ball player? Like, no matter how good this guy was, of course, he's going to score at Shaq. He's 8 times that guy's size. He could have picked him up and thrown him into the bleachers. This is the equivalent of Tom Brady going out there and scoring on flag football players in Saudi Arabia. Like, what are we even talking about
son,
here?
Mojo, juking his son in the backyard.
Yeah, or well, maybe not now because his son's getting kind of big, but at least back before, that was the same thing here. Shaq would probably beat that street ball player 200 to. I'll give him 2. He'll
there we go.
get something. Shaq will get tired. Maybe it's his stamina is the first thing to go. He's getting older. So
He is. Yeah, he's 53 years old. He's a huge man. My notes here say 7'1". Yeah. 324 pounds. I think he's probably a little north of that now in retirement. Shaq eating good. It was an awesome day. And Shaquille O'Neal, I'm telling you, if you need a center, he may be your guy. And you've got a couple weeks till the season starts. As for us, we have no time left today. We are out of time. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm a lawyer.